beloved and holy and only child of our Heavenly Father, child of the one source, child of light, divine. That is who you are. Take it deeply within the consciousness and contemplate what that means. Child of the one source, child of light, divine. I am the one known as Jeshua ben Joseph. Jesus, you have called me, and always when you call me, I answer. Always in truth, I am with you. Always I walk with you. Always I put my arm around you, and I whisper in your ear, remember, come home. Always I whisper to you, you are the light. Come once again into an incarnation where you can play, where you can be the different actors on the stage, where you can look to friends, brothers, sisters, and encourage them. Encourage to be in the heart and to come up higher than what the world will speak to you. The world right now is in a state of growth. Oh yes, Jeshua, it's a state of growth, all right. It's a chaos. It's brother against brother and sister against sister and parents against the children. Everything seems to be divisive. And yet, beloved one, if you will take the deep breath and come up higher, you see the light of the allness of Godhood, as I call it, coming forth to enact a beautiful finale of oneness. Ah, Jeshua, finale. Oh no, it can't be. Well, it can be and is a finale to all of the divisiveness, all of the us and them and taking sides. Would that not be something that would please you? Yes. So you see, finales can be really good as you allow yourself to come in peace, in totality, to the one place that recognizes who and what you are, the God self. Now, beloved one, we are going to have some fun in this evening. We are going to speak of Christmas. And I have a question to ask of you. Have you done your Christmas shopping? I see some heads shaking no. I see one saying, well, Jeshua, I've made a start. I bought 1 or 2 or 3. I've got an idea for 4 or 5 or 6. I think with a couple more weeks, and I'm hoping, they are saying, I am hoping I have that much time, and you do. In truth, you are the maker of time. So you will be surprised. I make a prophecy. It's a little bit dangerous from time to time, but I make prophecy that by the time of Christmas morning, or whenever you designate to be the time of gifting, you will have all of your gifts in order. And the greatest of gifts is love. Wrap each of the giftings that you have with love. Even the ones who seem to be always taking the other side of something. You know, Jeshua, every time I bring up a topic, this person in my family, or sometimes in my acquaintance, always has to take the other side. It's very much the way I would say something and she has to turn around and say something contrary just to see if I will react. And do you react? Well, yes, because she expects it. Okay, allow yourself to play with a new scripting. Smile at her and say, perfect. And she will wonder why you are agreeing with her. Because truthfully, She has wanted to be the one who does not agree. She has wanted to stand out as singular. And yet you are saying, well, you are part of my grouping. You are part of my heart family. You know that terminology. So allow yourself to take her in, even if she does not want to be part, or at least as she sees it, part of the whole. Because truthfully, she is part of the whole in any case. This year, there is going to be much that you've already seen of division. One saying one thing, and someone finding their courage and saying another thing, and to the place where sometimes they will go toe to toe with you and say, well, that can't be. I see it this way. And you will say, take off the artificial and be eye to eye with one, heart to heart. Truly, you are already one. You are the light of the Father, of the Mother, of the Christ. Come to play once again. Allow yourself, when you are nose to nose with another one, point to point with another one, to breathe. Yes, just like that. The deep breath. Allow yourself to relax, to come home to the heart, and to smile at another one. Wonderful. The smile, yes, heals everything. But don't get, as they say in your terminology, don't get too cute about it, or they will wonder, maybe you're not taking them seriously. And you're not. You're taking them lightly. This year in your timing is calling out for healing. You have already felt that. You have already seen that. Even your manifestation of the little thing called COVID is being upon your stage and saying, well, what do you think of me? And the little COVID is having a great time running here, running there, appearing when least expected, and saying, look at what I can do. I can change all my little pieces and bother you a bit. But you say to that little thing, welcome. It is okay. I will share my reality with you for a short time. You may come, you may go. I welcome you, and I bid you adieu. For you, it will not come nigh your dwelling place. When you remember, there's a caveat. I thought, Jeshua, you were just going to give it to us straight. I am. It will not come nigh your dwelling place when you dwell in the place of the Most High. In other words, when you take that deep breath and you say, I know I am the one creating, and I only create that which is of God. I do not create things that are going to be a nuisance, and in truth, you never do, because even if you say, I think I've got COVID, I can't breathe. Even if you have the offer and you acquiesce to the offer to allow this reality to be changed, given over, you still exist, and you will come, as you see it, to know a new existence. The Holy Child cannot be extinguished. The Holy Child has been from before time began. And when the purpose of time is fulfilled, the Holy Child will still be. Now, if you remember nothing else from this evening, remember that the Holy Child, which is you, will always be. Whether it be with certain form that you're used to, or whether it be in another form, a most luminous form, a form that is shifting, changing from time to time, you always will be. Do not, as they say in your world, sweat the small stuff. And in truth, it is all small stuff, all details. Play. Play with the details. Smile. Yes, the pearly whites want to be shown off. And more of you are going to your specialist that polishes the pearly whites. And you are bringing more, as you would understand it, radiance, more light to this plane. Count it all as good, because it is. Ones have been, as you know, experiencing what seems to be at first a loss. A loved one will say, perhaps consciously, perhaps not consciously, I have finished with this existence. I want to try something different. And then they allow the body to be a heap, to be taken care of somewhere, somehow. They have ordained a new experience. It is what they have asked that they want to know and to experience in joy. For in truth, you are never punished. Always, you are the extension of the God self, having a human or otherwise experience whatever you choose and forever, as long as you want it to be. So do not worry. If you have opportunity to exit and you choose not to, you will not. It is as simple as that. You may come nigh to the door that says you can exit and go into another reality. And if you say no, then that has to be your reality. That is how powerful the God self of you is. And you know this to be a truth because you have seen friends and loved ones come right to the doorstep of what is called death and giving up the body, trading it in, changing it for new experience. And they have said, I'm not finished yet. And these ones of your friends, you have friends who are already, what you would say, way past their expiration date. And they're having fun, walking, swimming, being out in nature, smiling. And you say, wow, that's amazing. They're over 100 years old, and look at that. They're walking okay. They don't even need the walker. That's amazing. And do you know what you're doing? You are bringing up those examples to say to you, you have free choice. You can be as they are, as long as you're enjoying, being in joy, and allowing yourself to have fun. If it is no fun, and you want to change it, change. You have free choice. But if you're still having fun and you still want to play, and some of you do, and if the body is saying, well, at your age, you really should be feeling some of the aches and pains and bodily organs that are tired, and you say, well, tomorrow. And you know the wonderful secret about tomorrow? It never comes. It is always tomorrow. Exactly. Because you live in the present. And there is a clue in that. You are giving to yourself that gift, a present, right? Okay, so enjoy it. And as I said, when you get finished with it, you can trade it in for a new experience. There are ones of your friends, loved ones, who have exited and left, but they are not away from you. One of the things that you are trying to prove to yourselves at this time is that there is no separation. So those who have chosen to lay down the body and let it be taken care of somehow, they are still with you. You feel them from time to time. Something comes up and there is a quotation that they used to always say, and you got to the place where, oh, they're going to say that again. And yet after they exit and that saying comes up, it's like, oh, maybe they're still here. I thought I got rid of that one, but no, they are still here. For in truth, there is nowhere else apart from you. And sometimes you wish that there would be. Get away from someone. And the way you get away from someone is to love them and to look at them with new eyes and say, I never saw that about him before. I didn't know that she could be so witty. I thought she was just being critical. And to see them in a new light, the light of adventure. Look to your friends, especially the ones who seem to be pushing your buttons from time to time, and ask of them silently, or perhaps not. Perhaps you can put it into words. Why are you saying what you say? Why have you decided to play this certain scenes in this play? And can I join you? And of course, they are going to say something witty, and they're going to say, no, you can't join because this is my act. This is my scene. This is my big scene on stage. And no, I'm going to have it all to myself. And then they trip and fall. Or they say something that is rather humorous. Okay. It is okay. Life sometimes seems to be a drama. But did you know really it is a comedy? Allow yourself to play in the comedy. Now you have a certain occasion that is coming up rather soon. And there is much that you want to get done before it happens to dawn in that morning, or even the evening before, according to whatever your custom is. And that is all well and good, because you want to remember various ones who mean something to you, or you want them to think that they mean something to you. Whatever the motivation, allow yourself to take one deep breath that morning when you awaken. And in that deep breath, welcome the birth of the Christ. Not one Yeshua, not one Jesus. I will do that for myself. But the birth of the Christ of you. Know that truly that out of great courage, the heart of you, you have agreed to come one more time into the veil of sometimes sorrows, but the veil of awakening. Read it as the veil of awakening this year. You are awakening to that which in truth you are. It is the Christ of you that is activating the body. Right now, as we speak, you are activating the body, the sensory organs that take in the sound of my voice, that use the eyes to read the message, to come to that place of oneness for a moment or longer, and to abide in the peace of the realized Christ. That is who and what you are birthing. The realization of the Christ that has chosen one more time to come and play on Holy Mother Earth, meantime, and to enjoy the birthing, to come in full realization that I am. Well, Jeshua, you are what? Anything you want to finish that sentence with. I am the realized Christ. Yes, you are. On that morning, awaken. Sit up in bed and put the feet on the floor and say, hello, Christ. Merry Christ Mass today. I love you. If you do that much on Christmas morning, you will know that the Christ is born. That's not too hard to do, is it? I love you. I am so happy to be. Full stop, period. So happy to be. And know that each step you take in that day leads you closer and closer to the full realization of who and what you are birthing. For a long, long time ago, as you measure time, there was a prophecy foretold for many generations that at some point in time, in the making real of time, the realization, there would be a Messiah come to teach, to heal, to be the essence of love. And it was thought that I, one Yeshua, was that Christ being. And I was. And you are. For indeed the Christ is not a singular solitary being, but the Christ is an essence, E-S-S-E-N-C-E, essence of being. And that is who and what you are. And that is who and what you will be celebrating on Christmas. The birthing of you, the Christ, upon this plane. The birthing in the realization of, good heavens, you know, I didn't know that birthing a bodily form in any form was birthing the Christ. Yes. However long ago you say that it was that you were born, in that birthing, you brought forth the potential of the Christ. Otherwise, you would have been as what they call the dead meat. You would not be. Might have been a collection of cells and whatever, but it would not have been what you have birthed. You, with the potential of the Christ to come in full realization. And that can be and will be known in a fraction of time. Not a long, drawn-out period of time. It will be in a moment of realization when you know the Christ is born on earth today. when you come to that place and you say, I thought it was something really hard and difficult and I'd have to have many lifetimes. Well, in truth, you have had many lifetimes. But it happens in an instant, that instant of welcoming. That's all you have to do. In the morning, when you sit on the edge of the bed and you put your feet on the floor, or wherever you put your feet, and you realize, I am the Christed being, come to play, come to interact, come to shine my light and my smile. And even if, and hear me well, even if you feel like leftover meat, smile. It changes everything. And what they say, it does a body good to smile. But know that in that instant, when you are coming to the place where you are bringing together the realization of the bodily form and the Christ of you, it is a powerful moment. It is Christmas. And the fun of it is you can celebrate Christmas every morning. Jeshua, I never thought about that. Well, think about it. You have the opportunity, even on the morrow, when you take possession of the body. In other words, you wake up. Wake up truly to who and what you are. Go through that day as the Christ would go. Oh, speak as the Christ would speak. Look to another one and love them as the Christ would. If one is hurting, if one needs a word of upliftment, speak to them. Give them, if it is possible, the hug. Call them on your most wondrous apparatus and say to them, you know, I woke up this morning and I thought of you, and all this love I felt in my heart went out to you. Did you feel it? And they will say, yes, of course. Shake up their world in a good way from time to time. Give them something, a gift, a Christmas gift that they can take with them every day of the year. Know that truly the Christ of you is that which has chosen the form, the power of the spoken word, the hug, the realization that I am the Christ. And I will walk this day as the Christ. Now, in truth, you walk each day as the Christ that is activating your body. But this time on your Christ day, allow yourself to know, to truly feel who is doing the walking, who is doing the hugging, who is speaking the words, who is seeing the Christ of another one. It will change everything in a good way for you. Then, as you know who you are, and you go through the Christed day, on the next day, allow yourself to put on the robing, the clothes of the Christ, and walk that day in peace. But Jeshua, what if somebody comes up to me and they're just really, really grouchy? And, you know, I have patience. I do have patience. It may not be, you know, a long time, but I've got a little bit of patience. But what if they go beyond my patience? Am I allowed to be myself? You are always allowed to be yourself when you recognize who and what the self is. Love. And I do not mean that you have to love everyone who comes into your existence, but you do have to love this one, you. But Jeshua, I keep making mistakes. In truth, there are no mistakes. Everything that seems to be a choice that maybe isn't exactly what you wanted it to be, give yourself the opportunity that you have built into this reality, the opportunity of time. Let enough time go by to the place where you can look back on a happening that maybe didn't feel as loving or as beautiful as you wanted it to be, but it led you to a certain other place. You have had, you as a whole, experience this, what is called the pandemic, and the COVID, so forth. And perhaps close friends, loved ones, have exited off the stage. And you have said, this is the worst thing ever that could ever have happened. Why did they leave? I was trying to be nice. They left so that you could realize that in truth, there is no separation. They were giving you a gift. Well, Jeshua, it doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like a separation. It feels like I've lost something. You have gained a greater truth. You have gained as you hear them. Well, yeah, I do hear them speaking to me sometimes. And, something will come up in conversation and it sounds just like Joe, just like what Joe would say. How do you know Joe is not standing right there saying it? In truth, he is. He is saying, hear this well. There is no separation. That is the greatest Christmas gift of all. There is no separation. Those who have left your sight are still with you. Yeah, but it's not the same. I can't really hug them quite the same. Have you tried? Go ahead. Let the other ones laugh. If you're hugging someone you love and they can't see the body, that's their loss. What do you feel when you do that and you look into their eyes? Well, I feel like I'm play acting. That's okay. It's better to play act than to have the sorrow, the deep, deep sorrow, and feel like you've lost something. Claim. Do not lose. Claim the Christ of that one. And then you have not lost them. They change form. It's like your beloved pets from time to time. And they come and you play with them and things are great. And then they get a little bit older and a little bit slower, sort of like people do. And then they may leave. And you go and you get a kitten perhaps, or a puppy, or even a new goldfish. And you say, that one reminds me of a cat I used to have a long time ago when I was just really little. And this cat came wandering into our yard and seemed to need something. And we gave it something to eat and it stayed around. And that cat meant so much to me. Well, of course, and that cat has come back several times into your life, or dog, or fish, or bird, or snake, whatever, has come back to say, hey, I'm here again. Play with me. Truly, That is who and what you are, the playmate. To all of the brothers and sisters who have the certain human form, no matter the color of the skin, no matter how they walk or run or talk, form of eyes, whatever. There is a heart that beats. There is a heart that loves. There is a heart that is calling out for companionship. Companion, to be with. Wake up. Know that all of creation is calling to you. And in that realization, the Christ is born again. Allow yourself to know that Christ. That is what is truly happening in this time when you have a holy day, a holiday, a holy day, is to look upon everything and see its wholeness. The activation of the Christ Spirit. Know that truly every day in your timing is a gift. Every day, if the body is working, you say, well, this is great, you know. And you talk about whether you're getting bigger around the middle or not, or how things look, whatever. Count, you know this one very well, count your blessings. And even for ones who have to have the wheeled chair, say thank you for your creativity that you made a chair with wheels. Who had that idea? You did. You as the extension of the Christ being. Well, I have to sit, but you know, if I put this on wheels, I can move around a bit. Sure. Well, you know, I can walk okay if I had this leg. So you have made artificial limbs, legs, arms that you can activate and be. Most creative. And you see this in little ways and in big ways, how creative you are. And the most creative that you can be is to recognize that I am the creator. Oh no, Jeshua, that's some force outside of me. That's God, my Father, out there. I've never really seen him. I've never really heard from him. That's because he ain't out there. Excuse my language. He's right, and he is not a he. Right here within. Worship him where you find him or her within. Celebrate Christ, Christmas, every day. And I will tell you the most wondrous gift that you give in that moment of awakening. The most wondrous gift is to birth the Christ in your own realization. Who is doing the walking? Who is doing the wheeled chair? Who is speaking? Who is writing? Who looks with the eyes of love? Even if this is gone, no more speaking, no more hearing, no more even seeing, but the love that is always there. Allow it to pour forth and birth the Christ. That is where I meet you, is in the birthing of the Christ. When you look upon another one and you behold the Christ child awakening out of all of the lifetimes that have seemed to be so heavy and yet so creative. Look upon every existence, every so-called problem, every so-called minus quality, and know that truly it was the fullness of the Christ of you that allowed that manifestation. Come home as the Christ child on your day of Christ Mass. Have your own moment of Mass. In other words, realizing, knowing, loving self, birthing the Christ child. And in that moment, you are all of this and more, because you have come to the realization of the one Christ child. Not outside of you, not one Yeshua. Although I am the Christ, but you are also. But Jeshua, that's kind of hard to accept, because I seem to see you as separate. I mean, my friends, they're separate beings. How can it be that we're all the Christ? You are activating, are you not? You are thinking. You are realizing even the smallest of qualities. That creativity, and it takes creativity to birth even one quality. Okay? You say, well, I'm not really worth very much, Jeshua, because I don't think I'm really activating the Christ. I have news for you. Look in the mirror. This is a very good exercise. Any morning, Christmas morning, but any morning. Look in the mirror and allow the eyes to go soft. Behold the light. Wow, I see a light. Kind of, I think I'm imagining it. Can't really be true. Sure it can. It is your light. And sometimes when you see that one that you love, yourself or another one, and you feel a deep breath, that is the Christ. Doesn't have to be with great fanfare. Does not have to be with flowery words. Does not have to be sung from the rooftops, although you may feel that you want to. But in that moment of taking the deep breath, you say, hi, Christ. Hey, I thought I had you hidden away somewhere. Maybe I can celebrate the birth of Christ this year, right now, the birth of Christ within. So be it.